I think this is the process that kind of a lot can easily, I guess, complicate. And in terms with me, when I'm kind of looking at a product, for me, it's always about looking to see if a product actually has demand on that particular marketplace, or even if it has demand in Australia in general. And then once you know product has demand, to actually just research the competition and then essentially bring something better to the table.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, exactly the same. Don't be put off by the Chinese sellers. That's the other question that I get asked for about all the time. And I see the Chinese sellers are on Amazon quite heavily now as well. We can't compete with them. Don't try. They get subsidised shipping from the world bodies. It's a pact that was made just after the Second World War, sorry, that all everywhere. So even if we send a letter from Australia to the US, it's only the price of the letter going from here to the US. The US post pays for it to go internally. So with China, they send from China to Sydney or Melbourne, wherever their headquarter thingy that they decide to send, and Australia Post then has to pay for the internal. Where it comes unstuck is the Chinese government subsidises their freight, their post. That's why you'll often get stuff from China and you'll see it's got like less than $1 postage on it because it's subsidised by the Chinese government. And we can't compete with that. Don't try.
It was funny. I was actually having a conversation with someone from China probably about a year ago, and they were talking to me about how a lot of the Chinese, they essentially have these huge warehouses there, and they e-pack it. They send a lot of the products. They go to one warehouse and send a lot of the products directly from China, and you get it to the US or Australia. But that makes a lot of sense, actually, why you shouldn't just compete with them, and that probably makes a lot of sense why there's so many of them on eBay, right? I mean, is there the same percentage that there are on eBay there is on Amazon? I think on Amazon there's 70%. I think it's probably a little bit less now.
eBay tried to cut out what they called location fraud. That's the wrong thing. But where they said they were based in Australia and they actually weren't. So they did try, and they did kick off a lot of those. But yeah, it's just, and you'll notice that the Chinese products are usually very small, very light, stuff that's usually under about 250 grams. So once you start getting into anything that's a bit bigger than that, that's where they sort of come unstuck. There's not that as many products, things like iPhone cables and that sort of thing. They're just China, and that's where I buy them from.
That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of 2,500 members and growing. We're the fastest growing community of professional e-commerce sellers right here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. $50 million, holy crap. If you'd like to find out more about what we do and how we can help you build your own e-commerce business too, get off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is in the description. And thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.